Hello, I am up in the middle of the night with wet hair and an eye twitch and doing a video not because I want to be up in the middle of the night, but because I know I will not be able to sleep if I don't get this out. It's usually, for me, has always been I would have to write something out. So um, just because of how my life is right now, I don't have the ability to spend 6 hours writing a post and just getting it all out. So I thought I'd do a video about it. And I thought I'd do a video about it because I thought perhaps maybe other people would relate to this. And because this is is just really like a huge light bulb moment for me that just happened about 15 minutes ago. And it took me 15 minutes to realize you're not going to sleep until you do this. So I'm just going to start talking and see what happens. So basically, this is how all of my written posts come together, my writing comes together, and it's that there will be a combination of a few things that I become aware of that then coalesce into like this kind of big aha that changes things. So that's actually what happened tonight as well. So there was a big meeting I had yesterday. There was a conversation I had yesterday with a friend, and then there was a book that I was sent that I was reading tonight. And certain aspects of those three things came together for me. So I'll just explain each thing and then explain how they came together. So I'll start with the conversation. Maybe they don't all need really that big of an explanation, but the conversation I had yesterday with a girlfriend was around, we don't know what to call them, but basically we're kind of labeling them as different personalities that come out in us. And we're starting to kind of give them names. And this isn't a totally new thing. I've had this in the past with another girlfriend. We've gone, oh, this is that person that's coming out that does this or that, or acts in these ways and kind of just takes over. And I'm not talking about dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder. I'm just talking about like kind of habitual ways of being that will come out when we're under certain circumstances, like you're stressed or something. So we were talking particularly yesterday. I was talking with this friend yesterday about we both have this kind of personality, for lack of a better term, that will come out when we feel rejection. I guess rejection is probably the best way to put it. Even if it's a slight thing, this can happen where basically it's kind of like an F you, I don't need you, kind of a thing that wants to take over, right? I don't know if anyone else has that. But basically, my friend was talking to me about how that was happening, and it may not even be something that we act on anymore. Like she was just observing, oh my gosh, okay, this person came out again, as far as her traits and response and reaction. And I'm just watching it, and it's kind of like insane. And we were talking about it, and I realized that, well, just hearing her talk about it, it sounded like she just felt a little bit like pushed away or rejected, whether that was perception or reality, and this like defense kicked in, right? I don't need you, basically a protection. And so I mentioned that, and then today I was thinking about it again because I had that happen with me yesterday in this big meeting that I had. Basically, kind of this persona came out of me, and I'm not saying I don't have any control over it. I'm just saying that I notice I'll get into this rut, and that will start to be where I'm coming from. And that is a protection of, fine, I don't need that, da-da-da. And what I realized is that I always thought in the past that those moments and those periods of time where that persona comes out, it's probably a better word than personality, the persona comes out, I thought that there was some kind of truth in that. I didn't see it until yesterday as this is just a protective mechanism. I saw it as, oh, here's the badass coming out, and this is a truth that needs to be spoken, whatever, right? And I would give a lot of credence to that and kind of put it under this category of like, well, I just was not confident enough to say that before until I got really upset or angry or someone really, really crossed my boundaries or something like that. But I thought there was some truth in it. What I realized today is there isn't any truth in it at all. It's definitely a red flag of something has triggered me into a protection mode, and that obviously would need to be not realized and acknowledged and looked at, like really looked at. Is this an old childhood pattern? I think those protection modes, those personas are almost always old childhood protection patterns. But you could use that, I can use that as a red flag is the point, rather than this is a truth, right? Something that I now need to look at the situation, see that I've been triggered into an old protection mechanism, and then where do I want to go with that? Because often I see that happening. I don't act on it, but it definitely takes up space for me. And yesterday I saw it come in. It's like a lightning fast, like it's so quick that it came in. It seemed very much like truth to me. I didn't even analyze it and just kind of went into that persona. And the thing is, ultimately that doesn't serve me. And I saw it tonight really as me kind of cutting off my nose to spite my face. And just not helping the situation at all. And in addition to that, being really inauthentic. Not intentionally, but that protective persona is not authentic. It's not me really sitting with my feelings or being honest about what feelings are coming up. It's kind of going into, well, this is how we're going to fix it. I don't need this, that kind of thing. And it's embarrassing to admit that, but it's true. And it's really, really humbling. And what it made me realize in a bigger way is that I have lived my life in a lot of ways very arrogantly. Very arrogantly. Not just from that perspective of having a persona take over, in certain situations where I feel like I need protection, I guess, when that comes out, and rather than being able to acknowledge that's what's happening. I thought there was a truth there. There's something that I need to say. I'm only going to say it if I'm this mad. And there's definitely something that needs to be looked at when that comes up. But what I'm seeing now is it's just very arrogant, and it's not being genuine about what I'm feeling. It's just going into this like kick-ass protection mode. And that was really painful to see for a moment, only a moment, because I don't really believe that I'm a collection of everything from the past, and that that means anything. It's just was a misunderstanding. I didn't see it. It's caused me a lot of pain in my life, and probably other people as well. And then, so the third thing was I received this in the mail, and I didn't order this. I didn't request it. I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't know of its existence. And my publisher, Maurice Bassett, publishes all of Steve Chandler's books. I think that's correct. I'm pretty sure he does them all. And he will send me Steve's new books when they come out. And I read them, and I enjoy them. But this one really particularly hit home for me because, and I'm not trying to get clients. I'm not coaching right now. I'm open to coaching if people are interested around raw food. I have offered that. But I'm not actively looking for clients right now. I'm not kind of even in that world. What I've been interested in is creating a business that I have been mentioning on here, so maybe you're aware, creating an opportunity for people to experience what it feels like to be connected in nature and all of the mental, physiological, physical benefits that come out of that, initially for the individual and then by everyone being connected, making better choices for everyone, right, for the earth. So everyone benefits from that. So that's been the idea of my business, and I've been, because I have so many incredible experiences in nature, and not even just wild nature, but laying on the grass in front of my home, like, will change my day. Sitting next to a tree. I could go off on a tangent on that because I'm actually super excited about sharing that. But this book, and I'm about halfway through it, but this book brought all three of these things together for me because so far, one of the main points is that getting clients, I don't even know why I started reading it. You know why I started reading it? I do know why I started reading it. It's because the print is huge. And at night, even with my glasses, I have a really hard time reading small print. I have a Derrida book that I just got that I'm so excited to read, and I literally couldn't see the print at night. So this book had a huge print, and that is why I started reading it. I just wanted to read something before I fell asleep because that's kind of my routine. And that is why I started reading this book. And immediately it hooks into this fallacy of thinking that you need to promote yourself. And this is talking about coaching because Steve Chandler is a coach. And I have done some coaching in the past. But that calling out, it's not about promoting yourself and saying, hey, look how great I am. It's about having genuine conversations with people and looking for places that you can help. It's shifting the mindset from, from promotion to service, basically. From what can I get from it, this is my paraphrase, to how can I help you and how can that be valuable in your life. And for some reason, that really hit home for me and brought those three things together, the conversation with my friend, the big meeting I had yesterday, and picking up this book, seeing that I have gone about things so arrogantly. And one of the ways I've done that has been in my business life and around social media. I have never liked trying to promote myself, period. I've especially not liked doing it on social media because I feel like I'm just bugging people. It doesn't feel genuine or right or good for me to be like, look how great I am, and you need to work with me, right? Even though, and this is a cutting off my nose to spite my face, because I actually truly have really valuable experience and knowledge and wisdom to share. But because I have basically had this persona come in around any kind of promotion, which has been like, F that, I don't want to do that, I'm not going to be one of those people, kind of alternated with like, okay, I guess I have to, because how are other people going to know what I'm doing? I guess I have to promote myself. I feel like this is an issue that anybody who has their own business at some point probably runs into. I guess there are some people that are just like, hey, this is great, and they don't have any argument within themselves about that kind of promotion, and that is a different kind of promotion actually than, going through all of the channels of, the business cards, the sales funnel, all the stuff that I could care less about. And I think to alleviate the necessity that I've seen or heard about doing all those things, promoting myself on social media, promoting myself in general, and the way that that's traditionally done doesn't feel good to me. So the way I've kind of let myself off the hook from doing any of that was that this persona would come out and be like, I don't, F that, I don't need to do that. I'm not playing that game. But it's come from a very protectionist, arrogant place. And the thing that brings us all together to me for what I'm currently doing is this concept around, it's a conversation and where can I be of service. I also just finished Pepper Vaughn's book, From God Through Me to You. That's the title of his book. And Pepper Vaughn is someone I truly, really love and have known for a long time. And I'm just so grateful that he's in my life. And I saw him last weekend when I spent some time in Sacramento, and made it a point that I really reached out to him and said, hey, let's meet. So we got to talk, and it was at a really critical point for me before this big meeting, and it was just very encouraging and empowering, and he's very, very empowering. So this all ties in as well, because Pepper writes about this also in a different way, and it kind of didn't click for me until I also read the Steve Chandler book. So now there are 4 things that really I see came together, and I'm sure there are a lot of other things too that I'm not seeing that woke me up to this persona is so much from arrogance. It's all about protection, and it's inauthentic. And it also solves for me the problem of promotion, and how do you let someone know about what you're doing in a way that feels authentic and not salesy, and like I can't even do that stuff. Not because I'm such a good person. In fact, I think I've been, like I said, super arrogant about it. I've basically been like, well, the right people will kind of find and be interested in what I'm doing, which I think, is true. But all I want to do is what I'm doing with you right now, and which I've been more and more able to do and doing through just these videos, which is just having a conversation and really, this makes me want to cry right now, really just be always looking at how can I be of service? How can I help? And really genuinely, that's where me wanting to do this business is coming from in the first place. But there's been this layer of, Pepper's book really did crack into me on this one too. There's been this layer of arrogance and of F that, I'm doing it my way, and inauthenticity around that I didn't even realize was going on. And I'm just like so grateful to have seen that tonight. I'm grateful for all of these aspects that came together for me to see that there isn't truth in that persona, that it's a protection mechanism, and that it's ultimately inauthentic and not only doesn't serve me, but is damaging to me and to anybody I'm communicating with. So this is getting pretty long, so I think I'll end it here because that's really what I wanted to say. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to say when I started out. It's kind of a discovery, and that's the conversation I want to have here, is to be in this discovery of life, you know, and in particular around our environment and the part that plays in our way of being. I'm just so grateful. I just feel like so many things have been clarified for me, and that shell of protection that seemed like it was serving a purpose and that I didn't even see as protection can fall away. And I just want to say also, Kyle has said to me many, many times, you have this badass, I don't need anybody thing that comes, that you come from sometimes. And he will reference me being in a protection. And I never saw it till now. I saw it in different areas. I saw it in different ways. And for sure, there are situations where we need to protect ourselves, you know, and only we can be feeling what we're feeling and ask ourselves what is needed at that moment, and then genuinely come from a place of providing that for ourselves. And that's for sure needed sometimes. But the way I was doing it was not a good way. So thanks for watching this. If you watched this whole way, I hope it is illuminating to you, or at the very least, I get to know that I just said it out loud and owned this, and that that's not something I want to do anymore. So thanks if you've been with me here, and I've gotten some really moving emails from people, and I appreciate that they saw in me the genuine part, and I can see that that's the only way I want to go from here on out, and that I wasn't seeing that the other wasn't genuine before, and it doesn't come out a lot, but it does sometimes, and I just feel like this kind of changes everything. And my point about the emails was not like, oh, this is how I want to do things to get more like appreciation emails. It's just saying I see that what I really want to do and what people really need is authenticity and a real connection around what we're talking about and how it can help. So that's it. Thanks. Gosh, that was a long one. All right.